Man, I'm telling you the truth. I can't get enough of that intro.
Man.
That intro is crazy, right?
That's fire.
Ladies and gentlemen, the So What Morning Show back in the building with yet another hot rock topic. It's going to be crazy today. I'm telling you right now, get to your phone lines, 855-878-4652.
Call in.
It's the So What Morning Show. You catch us here at TRadioV.com. That's Radio NTV. Every Monday at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time to 1 p.m. I don't know where you are in the world, but we appreciate you tuning in to TRadioV.com. That's Radio NTV. The So What Morning Show is about to fly off the rails today with yet another crazy topic. But you know what it is, as is commonplace for us. Books and community empowerment, right? The first book here, Dr. Goulston, yet another book. How many books have you written, Dr. G?
They're all blank pages, or just the covers.
Oh, so he's
Got a couple of those books.
that's terrible. Don't sabotage your career. Get out of your own way at work and help others do the same. Conquer self-defeating behavior on the job. Very interesting, Doc. Dr. Mark Goulston, co-author of Get Out of Your Own Way. Here's another heater. If you do not go get this book, you don't want your life to get any better. And Dr. Goulston specializes in changing and helping people change their lives, fix them up. Get Out of Your Own Way at Work by Dr. Mark Goulston. Very important work.
And on this Friday, we'll say this at the end, but this Friday from 10 to 11, I'm doing a public webinar on follow-through. How to improve it in you and the people around you, because follow-through means never having to say you're sorry.
Wow. How do they get to this?
If you go to Heartfelt Leadership, heartfeltleadership.com, it's the top blog there, and it'll give you registration information. And it's being hosted by an organization called BNI, Business Network International. They have 140,000 members in 30 countries. So, but it's open, so
Wow.
it's to their people and other people. But I think there're going to be a few thousand people tuning in. So, but of course, if you don't follow through, you can't register.
Wow. Heartfeltleadership.com.
Right.
Very important that you support Dr.
Can I have that
Goulston.
book? Can I have that one?
No.
Yeah, you can have.
No.
Give it to him. Give it to him.
No.
You said you heard the man.
No.
You can have it.
You know why? You know why no?
Why?
Because
Why?
you beat me to the punch.
Wow.
I hate you.
What?
No, I'm just kidding.
I know. You asked not. You have not because you asked not.
I love it. Hey, the next book, very important for us to get. The Ethical Slut. That's the name of it. The Ethical Slut. A practical guide to polyamory, open relationships, and other adventures. By Dorsey Easton, right? And Janet W. Hardy. Go get this book, The Ethical Slut. Why did I order it? Listen, I read this book. It's crazy. Why am I asking you to get it? Because it ties into today's topic, man. And also, please, 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 I urge you, I beg you, I plead with you, and I thank you in advance. Please go to my website, IamZoeWilliams.com, and order a copy of my book, The Rebirth of Seeds. I promise I will get it. Yes, thank you. I promise I will get you a copy out ASAP. Somebody call me and let me know what the deal is. IamZoeWilliams.com. Go there and order your copy ASAP. Now, community empowerment. Listen, I'm going to run this in the ground until it becomes a major global success. I live with a mother who I watched her give money to the church over and over and over again.
Oh yeah.
All of the money.
Every Sunday.
All of the money. Rent money, food money, her personal money, ordering prayer cloths and little vials of holy water and all kind of stuff like that.
Coretha, what you doing, girl? Bishop need gators.
And I love my mother. She passed in 2009, and I learned a tremendous amount from my mother, and she'll always be my rock. But it broke my heart to see her give, and not really receive anything from things that she aligned with her faith. And I see black people, like I said last week, we spend the most money in the world, but we're the cheapest people in the world. Right?
How's that possible?
So it's crazy, right? I want people to go out and get the Black Mastery NLP program, right? I want people to get that, man, because it's going to undo a lot of the conditioning that makes us the mediocre people we are today. Sister Girl is on the phone, and yeah, we're mediocre. When entertainers are our aristocracy, that makes us mediocre.
Yeah.
Sister Girl is on the phone, who developed it. I want to bring her back on. Veronica Conway is on the phone right now. Can you please give us a quick breakdown of why this thing is so damn important and why I'm so hung up on it?
Hi. Thank you, Zoe. I'm glad you're hung up on it. I think we should all be hung up on it. I created this fundamentally because I watched our brothers and sisters live lives of mental incarceration. And my daddy's been in prison for 40 years. I have a deep relationship with incarceration, and I really wanted to understand how we could free our minds in such a way that we could begin to reclaim all of our power. So I've studied for decades a lot of modalities, advanced modalities, neurolinguistic programming, hypnosis. I find that most things come down to limiting beliefs. You either have results or you have reasons. You have the results that you want, or you have a story about why you can't have it. And so Black Mastery really goes in and dismantles all of the reasons, the stories, the excuses, the conflicts that we have that stop us from having what we want.
And
that's what it is. I love it.
I just think that's so necessary. Listen, I see some people complain about the price. It's not that expensive. About the cost of a pair of Jordans that you'd kill your brother for. Right?
It is
about the cost of a pair
of
right.
Jordans.
And the Jordans will get old and somebody will step on them, but this is something you can use for the rest of your life, or maybe even pass on to your kid. I got my son listening to this. My son is very big in NLP. He's only in the 11th grade. He just had surgery last Friday. He's at school today, but he's the type of kid that'll listen to some hypnosis before a game. To get his mind right. He's like, I got him listening to this. It's like I said.
My children, I've gotten my children $1 million in fancy private school education for $25,000, and one of the reasons that they can compete with very wealthy, smart kids is because I program them for success.
Wow.
And because those kids aren't necessarily smart?
How about it, Jeff? I love it. Take off from the free throw line.
Your daddy bank account don't make you smart.
Right.
It don't make you shit, but lucky.
That's right.
But lucky. So
it gives you, and it does give you resources. And so, the last frontier is not technology. It's not information. The last frontier is the mind.
Wow.
And so if we can hack the mind and we can create performance, then we get to win.
Man,
we get to win.
This is great. So tell us really quickly before I let you go, where can they get this? And listen, this is a call to action. I urge you guys, stop making excuses. Stop talking about the price. Go get this for the betterment of your life. It's that important. Where can they find it?
They can find it at blackmastery.com. That's blackmastery.com. And if you want to get my free manifesto that makes the case for why this is important, you can go to theblackpaper.com. That's theblackpaper.com. And check it out.
Well,
Is
I
that
appreciate
you. Right there?
I appreciate
the Urban
you.
Diva Coach?
No, that's somebody who used it. You can go to her website, which is blackmastery.com. Go to her website, read all of the information. We appreciate you, Veronica, for coming on. Blackmastery.com is something you got to go visit. Go get the Black Mastery NLP program. I'm tired of telling you, go get it. Do it right now. Now, on to the next piece of power and empowerment in the hood. Brandy is wearing my homeboy shirt for girls.
Lord, yes,
oh,
she is.
my God. The Hathor shirt.
Wow.
Now, when they said the Hebrews left Egypt, which has never really been proven yet, they said they worshipped a golden calf. And the calf was always a symbol of Hathor, the goddess of protection. Protecting of children. And she has the Horus symbol on. Look how beautiful. Man, Brandy, Jesus. My man sent that shirt just for Brandy because he saw how beautiful she was. Go to my homeboy's website. It's ramomar.com.
Looking like an Earth, Wind, and Fire backup dancer. Yeah.
Oh, God. It's awesome, man. And you know what? These are not T-shirts that the guy orders from a warehouse somewhere. No, he sews and cuts these T-shirts together by a tailor. So when you order one, just give it a little time. They're not just buying a T-shirt off a rack somewhere.
Oh, it was almost some problems at my house because I saw my T-shirt going into the wash.
Oh, no.
No.
Yeah.
That's dry clean on.
Yeah, that's dry clean only.
Well,
Pimp.
let me ask
quality.
you, Brandy, with you wearing that, does it make it okay to just stare at your chest for the whole?
Yes, it does.
He done finally came
Yes,
out
it
after
does.
all that coolness. The doctor done came loose.
Came with it. Well, he wasn't even trying to be funny. That's the way it worked. Doc, don't try.
No, I just want to tell what I've been looking at for about 30 minutes.
Yes, Lord.
It does kind of accentuate a certain area. I'll give you a pass today.
All right, I love that bird's wings. That's all I'm saying.
Lord
Got
have
some
mercy.
healthy
Hey,
ass
so
wings.
listen, when we come back, today's topic is going to be crazy. I need you to get to your phone lines, 855-878-4652 at TRadioV.com. So what? We'll be back at 2.2. Holla!
And one of the greatest tragedies in life is getting to the end of your life and looking back and realizing it was mediocre and it didn't have to be that way. The number one reason is people are unwilling to listen and care about what's important to the other person. But what if you could be someone who dared to care about everybody in your life? When you're in love, smoke gets in your eyes. But when you're anxious, you talk more than you listen. I asked my wife a month ago, I said, I don't know whether to have an affair or buy a motorcycle. And she said, if you have an affair, I'll kill you. If you get the motorcycle, you'll kill yourself. Go with the bike.
That's your music, babe.
Hey, straight from the Catskills of 1950s.
Money, clothes, and hoes, all the niggas.
Here's the tip for the day. This is called 3 strikes and you're in. 3 strikes and you're in.
Wow.
Okay. So when something or someone upsets you, strike 1, think of the first thing you want to say or do. Don't do it. Take a deep breath. Then think of the second thing you want to say or do. Don't do that. Take another deep breath.
Bust her in the face with a Coke bottle.
And then think of the third thing you want to do, and then do that. Now, the reason for that is because when something upsets you, the first thing you want to do is protect yourself or defend yourself because you're feeling assaulted. The second thing you want to do is get even with them. You want to retaliate in some sort of way. You want to strike back at them, or you want to pull yourself away. Both of those don't seem to make the thing get better. But the third thing, especially if you can breathe between strikes, the third thing, you may be looking for a solution.
Wow.
So if you practice those 3 strikes, you might
That's
not
great.
strike out. You might strike it rich in that relationship.
I'm going to need about 9 innings for a few of these folk that I'm about 27.
No, you have to go into extra innings with you, Jeff.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you're just tuning into the So What Morning Show on T Radio V, I want you to get to your phone lines, 855-878-4652. Follow us on Twitter at T Radio V. Follow me on Twitter at Zoe Williams. I'm taking all questions because today's topic is nuts. Are open relationships / marriages the future of intimate relationships? Oh, this is going to be crazy. Questions! You know why I did this topic?
Why'd you do this topic?
We have to address monogamy. We have to address all of these particular relationship constructs that are out there. We have to address the high divorce rate. We have to address cheating, right? I was on Facebook the other day, and there was a woman who basically said men are immature because we want a lot of sex with a lot of different women.
Okay.
And they said when a man gets to a point where he wants to lock it down with one woman in a monogamous relationship, he is somehow more mature then. And I thought, that's dumb. That don't make sense. That's stupid. Well, he ain't ready. And if he ain't ready, he ain't a real man. And if all of these things. And I'm like, so you say a man's maturity is tied to his ability to be with only one woman? That's a lot of women who believe that. Let me ask the questions. I know you're ready. How about these questions right here? Are open relationships healthier than monogamous ones? If you got answers, write them down. Call us right now, 855-878-4652. Does it take a greater or lesser level of maturity to be in a monogamous relationship? When it comes to cheating, no, not that. Is unconditional love at its strongest only when it's expressed through a lifelong monogamous relationship? For some reason, people think that, do you know what monogamy means? A lot of people don't even know what the word means. If, by definition, monogamy means mono, one, gamos, marriage, one marriage, you're not monogamous.
Not monogamous.
You want marriage number 3.
Yeah.
What is that? Triad gamos?
Triad gamos.
I'm just saying. Trigamous. That's you. Right? I'm just asking. Right? Let's continue these questions. I mean, because it's very important that we lay out the framework. What's the difference between social monogamy and sexual monogamy? There's a difference. A lot of people, like this girl tried to tell me something about animals. There are birds that are monogamous. There are all types. Only, I think it's 2 to 5% of all animals
only get down in one. Yeah.
That only, and they're sexually monogamous, meaning they only have sex with that little animal or that little being. What is social monogamy versus sexual monogamy? Very different stuff going on. I need you guys to get to your phone lines right now. This is going to be crazy. True or false? Are all open relationships... wait a minute. Are we all in open relationships until we get married? How about that? Say we're dating. This is technically open because you ain't got no... If you like it, you should have put a ring on it, right? Options are still there. Don't do that, please.
That's what I do in the song.
I'm going to need you to stop right now. Could polygamy or open marriages slow the divorce rate and create more committed relationships if we were just in a polygamous relationship?
Now you're messing with money.
Huh?
Now you're messing with money.
Open relationships, today's topic right now. We got somebody on the line. Is that what you're telling me? Somebody is on the line, and then we're going to throw it to our panel. Oh, well, maybe nobody's on the line right now. Oh, you want to type? He wants to talk to me, my producer.
Oh, he want to talk to you?
Yes, but I don't want to talk to him.
So he can't just write shit and stick it on the window?
No, he couldn't.
Write something, stick it on the window, though. Sometimes technology get in your way. Okay?
We have Dr. Fran Wallfish on the line right now. Hopefully, Dr. Fran could hear some of the questions we were asking. We need help. We're confused.
Help us out,
Are open
Doc.
relationships going to save us from infidelity? Let's go deeper.
Are you there now?
Hi, Zoe. This is Dr. Fran Wallfish.
Hey.
How are you?
How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
We are alive. We are thirsty for knowledge. Is open relationship the future of intimate relationships? Talk to us.
I hope not, and I don't think so. And I'll tell you why. I do not want to come off judgmental because that's the last thing that I am. Let me tell your listeners, I am a 90210 Beverly Hills psychologist. And
wow.
I
From the
treat
show?
Lots of... Pardon me?
From the show?
Not from the show, from Beverly Hills,
From
man.
the zip code.
You actually get down over there. Oh, wow.
I know.
Wow.
She works there.
Wow.
She's seen it all.
I'm
Treat a
sorry,
lot
speak
of
on yes.
couples. And I can tell you that the couples who get together and agree to open relationships eventually change their minds. And it's usually the female counterpart in heterosexual couples who really are very uncomfortable with the idea of having to share their man with other women. And it usually creates a crack in the foundation of the relationship and ultimately destroys the relationship.
Wow. So are you saying, I need you to go on record right now, are you saying humans are predisposed biologically to be monogamous?
No, I'm not saying that.
Go deeper then.
I am not saying that. There's a lot of debate about that because I can tell you that I've talked to many, many men who argue the point that males are predisposed to not be monogamous.
Right.
And I'm female, so I can't really speak to the biological impulses.
Tough without a penis. Tough without a penis. It's tough to speak to.
It's tough without a penis. But true.
You're going to need the penis's input on this.
Yeah, you're gonna have
It's true. And I would even go so far as to say I believe it.
Wow.
But here's the but. And the but is that emotionally, women and many men, absolutely cannot handle the rivalry, the jealousy, the territorial stepping into she or he is mine, I am not sharing. And it really does actually step into unfinished business with sibling rivalry, having to share the beloved mother. People don't want to do it.
I think
So Fran, this is Dr. Mark. So do you think men are, even though they want an open relationship, you think they're less tolerant of an open relationship when she wants to have one and they don't?
That is correct. I agree.
Let's add some layers to this. I think men are open to the open relationship concept when she's bringing in other women. But if she's going out getting other schlong,
then we have to no-go. Then it's a problem.
Then there's an issue, right?
And the man's probably open to the open relationship when he's already been cheating on her already. And
Exactly. Good point.
I don't cheat. I don't cheat. I just have a one yam per fantasy. My yam. I guess I call my ding ding my yam. And I don't have my wife. Nah, I play. Well, maybe wife number 2. I'd have been willing to share her.
So?
But this one here,
you're bringing up an interesting thing because if it's an open relationship, it is not cheating.
There you go. There you go.
Aha. That's good. It's not cheating. Listen.
Let me
Go
say
ahead.
to you that when couples come to me for an actual cheating episode, the key ingredient that I find that determines whether the couple will make it or not is if the cheater owns up to accountability.
That's it.
Wow. That's a good point. Listen, hold on, Dr. Fran. We got to take a quick break, but when we come back, more of the open relationship as a solution to the high divorce rate in monogamous marriages in America. So what? Back in a minute. Holla!
Whenever you hear the bongos.
That's my homeboy.
On some old Jamiroquai joint.
You're not knowing. It's my homeboy. He has a group called The Big Pill.
Big Pill?
Yeah. A friend of mine from Pasadena.
Big Pill.
Oh, you can let it ride for a second. Let's get a little nugget of that. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back.
I wanna screw your girl.
Go ahead.
And you can have my girlfriend. Let's all get naked and start some screwing and do some doing, some sucking and chewing. I wanna do your girlfriend. And you can have my wife. She need to do some sit-ups, but you niggas shut up, cause we gon' do some screwing and some chewing and some sucking and some...
Okay,
wow.
I was so bad at it.
The So What Morning Show is on fire today. 855-878-4652 at Zoe Williams, if you want to tweet us. Again, today's topic, open relationships, open marriages. Are they the future? Is Will and Jada in an open marriage? What about Monique and her dude? Are they in an open marriage?
They say they are.
And how does that help? How does that hurt? How does that hinder? We want to know what the pros and cons are. Are you, or most people, in an undeclared open relationship until they get married? Huh? A lot of women got a lot of dudes floating around them just in case the main dude
like LAX.
mess up.
They got them like LAX. They got them hovering.
Yeah, just satellites,
That's
just
right.
orbiting around
Come
her.
in, land.
You know,
get
she may
flaming hots and leave.
She may blow in a text every now and again. How
Right.
you doing? Just
Checking
in
them
case.
traps.
Right when that argument happened with him. Hey, how you doing? Huh? Tell us, Brandy. Don't
That's
that
not a
happen?
trap. That's just that's natural. You got to. You need to know what your pool of selection is.
Let me
like.
hit you upside.
how many
Let me
dudes
hit you
care,
upside the
though.
dome real quick. I think human beings are situationally monogamous.
Wow.
I'm monogamous
Go
based
deeper.
on the situation.
Look at God.
You feel me? What does he do? Who does he? How much resources he have? All of this and that. All of that plays a factor. Who he is in society, stature, education, finance. Everything's locking in. The situation will require me to give him time, energy, effort, and maybe monogamy. I think that's how a lot of people interface. If you disagree, somebody call us at 855-878-4652. We've got Dr. Fran on the line. And then again, Jeff wants to say something. Jeff, go ahead.
I got a problem with the two couples that you brought up, Will and Jada, and Monique and her husband.
You don't like them?
No.
You don't want to work
Shout
in
out to
Hollywood, do
Monique.
you?
Monique, my girl.
Okay.
Monique, my girl,
All right.
and Charlie, Will's bodyguard. That's my dude. Okay, I know these people.
Charlie Mack,
Charlie,
the first out the limo.
The dude that's flipping Will when the Fresh Prince come on, and he pulled Will up. Will was flipping around doing the helicopter. That's Charlie Mack. Anyway, those two couples that you mentioned are rich. Okay.
So you're saying it's easier to be in an
Oh
open
my
relationship when you're rich? Go
if
deeper.
Will cheats on Jada in her eyes, I'm sorry, baby. Here's a Bentley. You can't do that with you. If you work a 9 to 5, it's awful fucking hard to come back from a cheating standpoint because you don't have no money.
Edible arrangement.
That's just saying.
Yeah. You don't have no. Look here.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. Sleazy, comedian extraordinaire. Talk to us, man.
Hey, what's going on, y'all?
I'm good, man. You?
Yeah, I'm in there like booty hair, man. I'm cooling.
Okay, like, yeah. Wow.
You in there?
All right,
It's
I
up
get
in
it.
there.
I get it.
It ain't no
You
more.
painted the picture.
It can't get no more up in there than
Can't get up,
that.
it's in there.
Okay, so talk to me, man. What is your ideation of open
I
relationship?
think I agree with you about that. They just for the situation because I think a woman really only in love with the feeling. They're not in love with you. So
What about men?
men,
Wow.
they
I'm gonna disagree with
they're in
that.
love with how you make them feel. Kind of sometimes it's more so the feeling. It's more so how you make them feel.
Wow.
And they just like you said, they always texting or where they DMing or inboxing another man because sometimes you not making them feel that way. So they got to get not sexually, but sometimes they'll go get that feeling
They
from
gotta
another.
keep that feeling on this level.
So when, like you said, when you mess up, they around there from them hawks is in the air. They waiting, squawk. So they'll come swoop down on your woman.
So I got questions for Brandy, the doctor, and Dr. Fran.
Mm-hmm.
Let me just ask, right? Brandy, you disagree with what he had to say, correct?
To a certain extent, yeah.
So say what you want to say, and then I want to ask Dr. G and Dr. Fran a question.
Well, I mean, he said that he didn't think that women were in love with you. They're just in love with the way that you make them feel. And if that's the case, I'm sorry that you haven't experienced that because I don't think that
Don't be sorry for me.
everybody. No, okay, then I won't. I don't think that everybody feels that way. I do think people genuinely fall in love with another person, and it's not about money or whatever. You know, of course there are those things that happen. Come on, we live in a world with varied personalities and stuff like that. But that's not the case.
Well,
for
that was my
everybody.
next question. Dr. G, you want to respond? Go ahead.
How many of you have had an argument with your significant other, and somehow talked it through, and then had great sex?
Oh,
Gone from war to sex.
I think I am.
yeah.
Okay.
Raise a hand for me.
Okay.
That's-
So here's the question: Because I think what's happening is people are losing the ability to talk about what they genuinely feel underneath it all. And when you get into an argument and you can go from the hate to the hurt underneath it all, what happens, and the other person hears you, suddenly the hate that causes you the need to act out and strike out and seek revenge and feel justified goes away. But if you've been in an argument where you can go from the level of I hate you, no, I don't hate you, I'm disappointed in you. And I'm not just disappointed in you, I'm afraid that if this goes on, it is over. Our family is over. And I think when people can go from that, DEFCON 1 to DEFCON 5,
right.
I think
I'm sorry.
I think the relief that you have survived Armageddon and this mutual relief suddenly causes you to feel really rapturous towards the other person. I think that's why a lot of people, if they can fight and not get mean and abusive, but just get everything off their chest, the warm feelings come back. And I think what's happening is people are losing the ability to talk about what's really going on underneath. And what they do is they react on the surface, and then maybe the man shuts down or the woman shuts down, and they think, okay, you can win the conversation, but I'm going to act out. I have picked out the person I'm going to go get even with you about.
Jeff Brown is a fool. Jeff Brown looked at his watch and then looked at Mark like, that's a filibuster, technically. But that was good stuff.
Okay.
But he spoke of something that was very big. When you can get from the hurt back to making love, back to loving one, that's like going through war. That's like going through being in the foxhole during a war. You make it out. That bond is for life.
Why you think the general been in the military for 40 years?
Exactly.
Because he's been through wars.
Right.
And that's one of the problems with the military now, they're saying, is that we have a lot of non-war tested generals. And you have a lot of relationships that aren't war tested. The minute y'all have a battle,
that's good.
Hey, you're done. You're done.
Good.
You're done.
Good.
Grenade, don't nobody want to, if this is a war, somebody got to jump on the grenade sometime.
Well, that's why one of the tips I gave at a previous show and people took me to task is when you're dating someone, before you make a big commitment, get into at least 3 arguments because you want to see the other person at their worst before you commit because you're going to see it later.
But that scares a lot of people, Doc.
Well,
you know why? Because if I see you at your worst, am I still going to love you afterwards?
Depends.
But
a lot of people, once they see you and they go, damn,
but
you look like Linda Blair.
Yeah, but the point is,
this shit's over.
But the point is, that Linda Blair is looking at you at your worst. So the point is, okay, here's a choice. Don't see the other person at their worst, but then later on it comes out and you have 1 or 2 or 3 kids and then you feel trapped. So what do you do?
Yeah.
So what is better? What is better?
Go ahead.
Here's where I disagree with that.
Y'all not going to let me get back to the doctor, huh?
Oh, you're the one who always disagrees with this. Go on.
Yes, I always disagree with that. Because
Lord Contrarian, speak.
That is not. It is I. It is I, Lord. It is I, Lord. It is I. Ale for the horses.
Ale! Wenches!
Wenches, come. You with the big breasts.
Spico expert in third marriage.
That's right. Absolutely. I've done this shit and I've fucked up enough cars to know how to drive. Look. My wife and I have said, look, here's my version of the Hulk. Here's your version of the Hulk. We have put these 2 animals behind this cage because regardless to how much I love you or you love me, these 2 animals have been race proven to destroy love.
Wow.
These are love monsters. They eat love alive. And I will not let this monster out of the cage on you. I will take a drive. I'm going to tell you how I feel. I'm going to tell you about your bullshit. But I'm going to have a way to do it because I'm not going to let this monster out the cage. You do not want my monster. My monster's horrible.
I believe, let me do this. We have to bring back Dr. Fran. But I believe a lot of people, I think all of us in general, to some degree, are polyamorous. I know that there are a lot of people out there who are marrying a security blanket, but in love with another person. Woo! I believe that happens.
I know somebody
all the
I
damn time.
I believe it.
And I believe we're polyamorous. I think that happens. We've got Dr. Fran. I want to wrap her up real quick, but Dr. Fran, do you have any closing thoughts on what was just said?
I do. First, I want to fully agree with what Dr. G said.
Dr. G!
It's Whitey and Whitey against you guys. Go
It's
on,
always
Fran.
been that. Has it
I
ever
know.
been any different?
Fran, you have to come in here and bail me out. This Whitey locked position I have is just taxing. Go ahead, Fran.
I did your name right. Is Dr. G, yes?
Yes. Dr. Mark Goulston.
Because it does all come down to communication. One of the other commenters said something about, well, I'm understood better by the other woman. The bottom line is people do not know how to talk to each other. And that is one of the main things that people need help with, learning how to talk and listen and understand and validate each other. That is number one. Another issue that the female, I'm sorry, I forgot her name, that spoke.
Brandy.
Brandy.
Yes.
Warm, brown, and inviting.
Was responding to the issue of money. And somebody brought up money and men with money. Here is the thing. People with money often have grandiose sense of themselves. And that, in my world, is called a bit of a narcissistic trait. And what goes along with that is the belief that they can get away with stuff.
That's right.
And so they act out on their impulses, or to use Zoe's metaphor, they unlock the cage and the animal comes out. And the truth is, we live in a socialized society, and we are supposed to socialize ourselves. Now, do people cheat?
Yes.
All the time.
What is going on?
Man? Was that a ghost? She just faded away.
Wow, it seems like we've lost her. Jeez. Well, we're going to try to get her back. She was dropping some jewels.
And then she was replaced by a Tower of Power band, it sounded like.
Jesus. Ladies and gentlemen, T-Radio V, we're in the building. Call us back at 855-878-4652. The show is crazy. Open relationships. I think you're setting yourself up for failure if you get married. Nobody's monogamous. I'm going out on a limb. Call us if you disagree. I'll be back in 2.2.
To have and to hold, to love and to cherish. Blah, blah, blah. I'm not saying marriage is stupid, archaic and statistically silly, but not stupid. I'm saying that's biologically inaccurate. The idea of monogamy is a foundation of our modern Western world, but it has no roots in our biology. We see pictures of cute penguin couples and think that humans are the same, but penguins are biologically monogamous. They mate for life. This mate pairing is very rare in biology. Only 3 to 5% of animals are truly trustworthy. Humans are not biologically monogamous. Monogamy in both social interactions and sexual preference is an oddity, especially in mammals, including tigers. All the other primates are also polygamous, like orangutans that have loose polygamy, where the male mates with females that have territories that overlap with his own. Gorillas are strict polygamists, actually polygynists, where males have harems of women that have enforced social hierarchies, just like Mormons. So, Warren Jeffs, you can marry all the cousins you want. I'm not saying humans aren't capable of monogamy, but that it isn't natural for us, at least for men, as humans are most likely polygynists. It increases the chance of successful offspring, therefore increases the chance of spreading your seed. This is how evolution works. So the next time you catch your boyfriend, husband, otherwise labeled partner checking out another woman's ass, just remember, he is following his dick. And that is how he evolved to be.
Okay, mister.
Hey, all I'm saying is monogamy. This is the angle I'm gonna take. This is how I know when people are lying to me. Like when I'm dating a woman and I understand what it's about, it's the sizing you up, you know, your education level, your finance level, your status, your resources. First off, I know you're not monogamous. You might like me. You might like my energy, my vibe. You might get down with me, my mind or whatever. But at the end of the day, how many times, and Corey Holcomb says this all the time, how many times you find a woman or a man dating somebody for their potential and their resources? To me, that's what I mean by situational monogamy. I'll be monogamous with you if you reach this goal and I can help you reach this goal. And it's more about building something with you or benefiting from who you are or what you have, as opposed to true monogamy. Now, you heard what she said. 3 to 5% of animals are strictly monogamous, and that's sexually monogamous. But socially monogamous, let me show you what social monogamy is. And you've never seen Will out on a red carpet with his side piece, right? She might be off in the cut somewhere, just sitting right there, right? But you've never seen her.
You wait till we go to break.
But that's my thing. Even say Bill Cosby. Now you know he knocks him down like bowling pins.
He's pudding,
right? But Camille, socially monogamous. Together, I'm always with Camille. This is my wife, but
my private plane is named after her.
There've been a line of women coming out saying, Bill is reckless with the penal investigation.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. So my whole point is, I think people are situationally monogamous. If you disagree, somebody call me. 855-878-4652.
Okay, first off, raise up off of Bill Cosby. And raise up off of Dr. King, because he was catching a lot of heat.
Hey, was Dr. King monogamous?
No.
He was married.
This is my point, okay? If a man comes along and changes society as we know it,
he gets to have
don't
his
he
love.
deserve some cooter on the side?
Cooter love.
Okay.
Look,
Cooter.
If you're an adrenaline junkie, which a lot of these power mongers are, and you're driven by adrenaline, you're not open if you are a slave to the adrenaline rush, which you can no longer have.
Are you saying? Wait a minute. Are you saying the pursuit of cooter is about control and adrenaline? Is that what you're saying?
No, it's about giving in to your basic instinct. Now, that doesn't mean you're open. You're just letting your basic instinct run you. I think it's only when you pause and have the possibility of choosing. I'm not saying you should.
But a lot of people are going to say monogamy, and they're going to put monogamy on the same level as Jeet Kune Do. They're going to say it's a type of discipline. You are disciplined when you're able to push back and belay all of those urges and desires.
Don't you think for your son to make it to his potential in basketball, he needs to learn discipline?
I'm on his ass like a cheap suit.
Okay, so but what
like hair on a gorilla's knuckles.
Yeah, but what if he wanted a hot dog? What if he wanted to go back on the court before his leg was ready? And he said, that's what we're seeing with the Lakers. Okay, yeah. Okay, and he said, look, you're cramping me, Dad. I know I'm ready because his instincts are to get out there.
Right.
So isn't there a place for discipline, or should you take discipline out of all relationships, or just only if you want to achieve something?
Oh, but that's a great question, Doc. And there is a place for discipline. You can't have a meaningful life unless you're disciplined. But guess what? Open relationships are a discipline too. Remember that. Yeah.
Okay, well, you can talk.
Remember
about
that,
He was just discussing.
Derek? Because Derek was just...
No, don't call him Derek. You call his ass Sleazy. That's his name.
Well, Sleazy.
You can call me White Deluxe. But WL.
WL.
No, you were talking about being in an open
relationship.
You're talking about being in an open relationship and how that was awful. So why don't you... Can you riff on that a little
Was it awful?
It was awful.
It was awful because you got caught.
Because me? I didn't get caught.
No.
So you had an agreement where... Hey, baby boo.
He just woke up tired.
We gonna have... See, there go that bullshit here.
No, it wasn't most... I'm crazy. Let me tell you. I'm one of them men. I'm crazy. Now, I don't like to share. After a while, I just like, no, come home. Let's be together. I don't want to do all this no more. Yada, yada, yada. But, I got out of that situation, though. It hurts, though. No, it hurts.
Why was it crazy? Did you, after some time, were you unable to handle the openness in the relationship?
Yes, because it was fun. Because we were getting drunk and high all the time and just it was a party all the time. Everybody was around, and after I didn't want to party no more, it started to bother me.
But I'm saying, was it an agreement from the gate?
Yes. It was more so like a...
Tell us about the agreement. What did you guys agree upon? What was that conversation like?
This counts, though.
Yeah, this is sounding a little fuzzy, but we're gonna drill down.
What you mean by like? Did we
What was
agree?
the agreement?
It wasn't more so of an agreement. It's just more so how we met and the situation that we met in. Then we moved in together, lived together, and it just
Y'all was roommates, fucking several different people. Unspoken agreement.
I ain't never looked at it that way.
Come on now, this ain't no damn open relationship.
That was a relationship. We were actually in a relationship. We were actually in a relationship though, but it was on some. We didn't even went to the point we would have sex in front of people. We were like voyeur. It was like voyeurism. Like we did shit like that. Yes, we record ourselves. Pictures and stuff. Yeah, I was loose.
How much did y'all make off the tape?
It didn't
start.
start.
No make nothing out the tape. It was just that's how freaky that we were. We're freaky. I'm freaky.
I think that's
what I do. I'm a freaky guy.
Okay,
not men though. I like women. Let's get the camera on me. I like women.
I think
the dude's name is Sleazy.
I think what you're getting at is a relationship that more than likely starts closed, and then we decide, look here. Let's bring other people into this thing that we are doing, which is why we should have had Dwayne Mooney on the show. Shout out to the Moonies.
I called him.
Man, Mooney, what's up? Anyway, that's different than, you know what, I met this freaky ass girl, and now we doing some freak shit, but I'm beginning to catch feelings for this girl, and she still wants to do freaky ass shit.
That's what happened.
No, we was actually together though.
She put that hot monkey lava on you.
And I didn't know she was a hoe.
You fell in love?
You didn't know she was a hoe?
No!
What?
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Sleazy,
Wait a minute.
take your headphones off and get the hell out of here.
Wait a second. Is this crack?
I didn't know she was a hoe.
We're all in this abandoned house, unbathed and everything.
Hey, I'm being honest.
And I just sold my mother's couch, and now you're gonna tell me this is crack?
No, this is not crack.
Whatever.
She tricked me.
Of course, you are a trick.
Hey, don't look at me like I was the only person in this room that done fell in love with a hoe now. All of us got to get. Every man in here got caught with a hoe.
You can't count me.
Yes, you have.
I got questions.
Go ahead, Brandy.
I need to know, how did she become your girlfriend and y'all was just having a good old freaky time together to she is a hoe?
Wait. Yeah.
Like what
I didn't know she
appreciated the hoe nook.
The hoe nook.
The hoe nook. Okay.
I just didn't know that she was a openly a hoe. It was more situations.
Okay, wait a minute. Wait. I got a question. Did the two of you
hurry up because we got another
allow
guest?
people to watch you have sex, and then did you see her go have sex or be in the knowledge that she was having sex with other men? Yes or no?
Did you find out she was banging somebody?
And would you tell me the difference between that
let me tell
and
you
hoism, if you could?
I found out she was banging other guys that I didn't have no idea that she was banging them.
And then
she lied.
It was a secret. I really tell you what happened. I'm not lying. So this is the honest to God truth.
So she's a whore.
I didn't know.
It's a secret.
It was a secret. The secrets were the ones that got to me. The stuff that we were openly doing was cool, but it was the secrets, and sometimes that open stuff can go a little bit too far, and then like the secret. That's what it was. The secrets that she had that I didn't know about her.
Then it wasn't open.
Well, no. I think I understand.
If she got secrets, it ain't open.
I want to jump on this one because I've seen a lot of.
She wasn't open.
And let me bring my next guest.
Ladies and gentlemen, Brandy about to jump on something.
I want you to turn everybody's microphone off except Brandy. Brandy.
No, what I think that he's saying is that at one point in his relationship with this woman, they had a certain understanding of what their relationship looked like. And the problem came in, whatever that was, whether y'all were doing 100 people a night or whatever, when you were doing it together, it was fine. But the moment she stepped outside of that circle of established, this is what we do together, is that when the problem
Well, if you have an open relationship, does that mean that the other person has to tell you who they're doing it with?
I think you make the rules as you go along.
No,
another good question.
No, but I think by definition, open means truthful.
Yeah,
I think by definition.
I'm doing it with other people, but I won't tell you because they're your best friends.
All right, so listen, we have another guest on the line. We're bringing in an expert. I'm tired of all the conjecture and the foolery on this panel today.
Tomfoolery.
Right? Which is normally
Tom, Dick, and Harry foolery.
Monkeys throwing shit.
No. We have a sister on the phone right now. She came and did my show on the Foxhole a while back. And her husband Carl. It's Kenya and Carl Stevens, but we got Kenya on the line right now from jujumama.store or jujumamastore.com. I need you to go to her website, jujumamastore.com. She's been on Dr. Phil. She's been on Monique's TV talk show. She's been everywhere speaking on this particular subject because she, in fact, has experienced an open marriage because she's in one. Kenya, can you come on and add some level of clarity to the clusterfuck that has evolved after a few hours? Talk to us, Kenya.
Yeah, I absolutely. I feel a little confused by the conversation. The young man who was speaking doesn't sound like he was in an open relationship. Either way, I've been married for almost 20 years, and we've been in an open marriage for 20 years, and that does require a discussion. For us, it was a 2-year-long discussion on whether we were going to open our marriage or not. So I don't understand anything that just happened on the show.
So tell me, though.
You're right up to speed then.
Yeah, you're right on point.
Yeah, you're right, yeah.
So that's why we brought you in at this juncture of the show. So tell us, how did you guys arrive, and what was the process of broaching that conversation? Like, how do you have that conversation? Say, hey, I'm still attracted to other people, but I'm in love with you. And how do we build this relationship and hold it together while adding on to it?
Yeah, that ain't we out of Cheerios. I want to fuck some other people.
No. Well, my husband's also on the line, Carl. And he can explain to you, what happened from my point of view as a female. We've been married for about 11 years before my husband came to me and let me know that he was actually having feelings for another woman. So that's how the discussion began.
Wow.
I had had feelings for other men as well, and I always brought that to him, and we brought it to our marriage counselors, and they always told us to table it because it was impossible. But at year 11, we decided that maybe it wasn't impossible. He told me he was falling in love with somebody he worked with, and I said, well, let's explore it. I'll go to dinner with her. Let's see what there is here, because I was tired of following rules that I did not create.
Wow. So how did he convert you to that concept? Because that's.
Well, I got a problem with the math.
Well, he didn't really have to convert me. Again, I had felt feelings for other men as well. And after a time when you're married, the sex is good for about the first 4 to 5, maybe 7 years max. And then you really feel an itch to enjoy passion again. The bonding phase is over, so you didn't have to do much convincing.
Well, I got a quick question.
4-5.
In an open relationship, it's one thing if you have the hots for another person. But what if you were to say, I love you, but with this other person, it's more than sex. I feel less lonely with them than I do with you. So, I mean, in an open relationship, how open is the relationship to having deep feelings for the other person, or does it always have to be just restricted to physical and sexual?
No, you're going to have deep feelings for other people. It's perfectly normal and natural to have all types of different connections with all types of different people.
Hey, what up, Carl? How you doing, man? I didn't know you was on the line.
Yeah, she said he was on the line.
Go on, Carl.
Well, is he under a pillow or something, dog? Is you with the other chick right now?
Carl with his side piece right now.
She's holding a gun to his head. Make sure you say the right things, Carl. Go on, Carl.
What's happening, bro?
What's happening,
man? So the reality of it is, if you really keep it real with yourself, if you can be honest, and that's where the issue comes in with monogamy and the reason why people can't recognize it. So they can't be honest with themselves about how they really feel and with their partner. But if you keep it honest, then you'll see you have all types of different feelings for different people. Some are going to be, very light or just friendship. Some are going to be like deep love for people. Okay. And with openness, you allow that to take course.
Hey, Carl, I have a question. I have a question for everyone. So, is it okay in your marriage to say, I like that we are building a life together, but I actually feel closer emotionally to these other people. But I am glad that we are building this family together with our children, our church, and we got a great house. But if it's okay with you, I'd like more emotional closeness than you seem to want. So is it okay if I have that emotional closeness with someone else outside the marriage?
So wait a minute. Carl, Kenya, I need you guys to hold on real quick. We're about to take a quick break. Please remember the doc's question.
Find a better phone, Carl.
Because he'll forget it.
We're going to come right back to you.
Jesus.
Get to your phone line, 855-878-4652 at T-Radio V, Radio and TV, the Zoe Up Morning Show. Taking a break.
Phone? Is
We'll
that
be
how
back.
this works? Oh my God, how he has a rap career is beyond me. I don't get it. And he takes his shirt off. Oh my God, he looks like 50 pounds of chewed Tootsie Rolls with his... All right. Now, you are in white fashion. You know white boys always leave the house like they're going to help somebody move. Enlist and defend the horrible hoes. There are some horrible people. And what you need to do is start policing your own. Oh, okay, I'm back. That's my music. My music is fly. You need to get somebody working on your music. I was going to title this one, "Hey Man, get the sand out of your pussy and let's go." Oh. And as endearing as that is, it's a little wordy. So I'm going to go with what now? What now? This is a question that you have to ask yourself after the shit hits the fan. What now? This question implies two things. What? Meaning we're going to have to put some action into this bullshit that just happened. And when? Right goddamn now. You don't have yesterday. You don't have tomorrow. All you have is right now. Be honest about your what now. Be honest. If you want to just complain, my baby daddy don't give me no money. I just got raped in the shower.
Say more. Go more.
I just lost my job. Now I got to live at my mama's house. Whatever your what now is, be honest with yourself. If you want to sit here and complain, and that's what you're going to do right now, fine. But please understand that sitting there in your pity party is not going to change your situation. And understand that you have elected to do that, and that is a choice, and it's yours to make, to sit and whine and blah. Or you can take your what now and figure out what the fuck the next step is. In the words of Anthony Hopkins in the movie The Edge, do you know what most people in the wilderness die of?
What?
Not exposure, not starvation. They die of shame because they can't believe that they're in the situation they're in, so they don't do shit to get out of it.
Wow.
Do something. Get the sand out of your pussy and let's go.
Wow. That was Jeff Brown's rendition of Tony Robbins. That was motivational.
Yeah, that's the ghetto Tony Robbins.
Right. That was Antonio Robbins. Appreciate it.
Antonio Quante Robbins.
Right. So listen, we've got new people on the show right now. We've got Uncle Bobby, author of Real Men Don't Play. He's going to be contributing to the conversation here shortly. If you just tuned in, we are talking about open relationships and marriages as a maybe a remedy for the high divorce rate and infidelity that happens in normal relationships. I believe a lot of people are in open relationships. It's just not declared. We have guests on the phone right now from JujuMamaStore.com. That is Kenya and Carl Stevens. Now, before we went to break, the doc asked you guys a question, specifically Carl. Carl, would you like to address that before we move on into the conversation?
And the question was, can you build a life with the person you're married to, but tell them, I'm really in love with someone else. We don't do emotions in our marriage, but we have a great life, and we're good in public. But I'm really in love with someone else. Is that okay? Can we be open about that?
Yeah, what happens is the emotions you have with your wife, as you guys stand the test of time, as you guys learn to be open and honest with each other, it turns into something that's, almost transcendent, right? So it's really not about, I feel this energy for her or this whatever. No, it moves more to unconditional love. It moves more to, like, we've been through so much together. Our bond is tight. Like, we're never splitting up, and we know that in our heart. We know that for sure. So, yes, I can have passion with other women. I can be in love with another woman or whatever, but that's never going to trump what I have with my wife. You know what I'm saying? Like, we've just been through so much together, and our bond is so tight.
So you guys are like Frank Underwood and Claire on the House of Cards.
Yes. No, I understand.
Oh, I didn't see.
No,
I didn't see the House of Cards, but all I know is we live in bliss because I can have who the fuck I want, and my husband can as well. I mean, that's bliss. That is beyond. That is beyond anything the Western mind can come up with. That's beyond any type of romance that all these movies are about.
Kind of ghetto. Let me get this.
I understand what Carl's saying. I would just say call to Carl because I've been married 35 years, and I think what we have is we have unconditional appreciation, which is we have been through amazing history together, the ups and the downs, and so that history, you know, when you pause, you can be incredibly grateful and appreciative for those things, so I can understand what your guys are saying. So thank you.
Hey,
this is Jeff Brown speaking.
I'm sorry, what was your name again?
That's Kenya.
Kenya and Carl. You're gonna have to forgive my Western mind. I'm working with a Chicago high school public education from the '80s and MythBusters. So, but I did understand you to say that your relationship. Hey, you have an open marriage for 20 years? Is that what you said?
We've been married for 20 years, open for 10.
Open for 10 years. Okay. Has either of you ever cheated on the other one?
No, we don't believe in cheating. It's a ridiculous concept. We've never had sex with somebody else without the other person understanding and knowing that this is what we're doing.
Wow.
Okay.
That's open. Now that's open.
Yeah.
That's open.
Yeah, and I have a Detroit public school education, so we on the same level. It's just a matter of how do you want to live your life? You want to live in fear, or do you want to live in power?
I believe both are possible. I fear lions. I fear lions because they like human meat once they've had it, and I think that's a healthy fear.
Sure, but you don't need to. But if your fear is your own emotion, like if you fear jealousy, or if you fear being hurt, or if you fear loss. Those are things in your head. So you fear yourself, basically, if that's what we're saying.
That's a good point.
I don't think that's the worst thing in the world.
Open because they live in fear. They live in fear of their own emotional state. They have no control of their own emotional state. And that's what we teach to thousands of clients all over the world.
But control is an illusion.
Gain control of your emotional state.
Control is an illusion.
Okay, so listen. We've got Uncle Bobby, author of Real Men Don't Play. He is somebody's uncle, namely mine. He's in the building right now. He gonna give you some of that old time wisdom. Uncle Bobby, what's your ideation on this whole conversation right now?
I think it's a very timely conversation that we all should really take very seriously and to heart because you got one lifetime. And I've been able to live almost 60 years now, and I've loved and lost. And I'm just like everybody at this table trying to figure out what's best for the rest of my journey and what's real about that and what can I deal with and what I can't deal with it. This notion of open relationship is semantical to me in the sense that we're just using words. What does it really boil down to? What it boils down to me is what can I tolerate? Not out of fear, not out of envy or any of these other things, but what is it I can tolerate from another person, maintain my self-respect and my sense of purpose because I actually live with purpose. So having an open relationship may or may not work for me because it's open today and closed tomorrow. I mean, because you get closer to people or you move further away from them. The sister said something a minute ago that I would like to say is not generally universally true. You can be hot for somebody as long as you're hot for them. It can be a week, it can be 10 years, it can be 15 years. Because she said after 7 years max, you lose that drive to be with somebody. I'm not going to subscribe to that. I think you can have a hot relationship.
I don't think she was speaking absolutely, but I was thinking she was speaking in general.
No, she said that. She said 7 years and it's over. You're going to have to find that thrill somewhere else. Now, I'm not saying that it doesn't happen because it does. You get with somebody and you max out. But every now and then you run into some new pussy at home.
Look at God.
Woo! If you look for it, it's new pussy right at the house.
Can I take my headphones off now and leave?
Yeah.
The doors of the church is open.
Drop the mic.
Bobby said every now and then you can find some new pussy at home.
At the house.
On that note, we're going to take a quick break. We got to take a quick break. When we come back, more with Kenya and Carl Stevens of JujuMamaStore.com. We'll be back at 2.2. The panel's on fire. Open relationships. I'll talk to you in a minute. Holla.
God damn it, Bobby. Mr. Bobby. I like that.
Pretty girl.
Ladies and gentlemen, the So What Morning Show has returned. This is a very, very hot topic. We're here with Kenya and Carl Stevens. They're in a open marriage. Been married for 20 years. Been open for the past 10. You can find them at JujuMamaStore.com. Check them out. Closing thoughts, Kenya and Carl. Talk to us about this most important subject.
Okay, what do you guys want to chat about? I mean, I don't know.
Let me ask you a question.
This conversation has been... Oh, go ahead.
Let me ask you a question. If monogamy, because we played these videos, I don't know if you guys can hear the videos during the break.
We can.
You can. If monogamy isn't in alignment with human biology, how then, and I ask this to the whole panel, how then can, say, a hypersexual or promiscuous person, man or woman, then be called or labeled or judged as promiscuous or hoish or immoral if we're not programmed to be monogamous? Talk to me.
Well, that happens all the time. It's been happening for centuries. I mean, we've been calling men dogs for centuries. Ask your great-grandmother, your greatest grandmother. First of all, marriage for men has never been a monogamous scenario. As soon as marriage was created 10,000 years ago, so was prostitution. Men have always had other partners on the side and mistresses, and that was completely normal up until 1950 in the feminist movement. But how can people be called these names? Because they allow it. Wow. If somebody tries to say that I'm slutty because I have more than one male partner, I actually have 5, then I tell them to kiss my ass. What they're talking about is biblical. What they're talking about is religious. They're talking about their fears and their convictions and their learned behaviors. Everyone knows we all want sex and lots of it. It's a ridiculous notion.
Wow.
We're acting like children. That's what we're doing. We're acting like children.
Carl? Is Carl still there?
Do you have an opinion on that?
I think.
Yeah, he didn't hear. We're in the middle of our work.
I got it.
Where we are.
I got it. So
we don't believe that. We don't believe that people have been functioning from their proper from their brain. They've been functioning based on learned behaviors, like androids.
I got it. So let me ask you this: how can people get in contact with you? How can they find you? What your Twitter, social media, Instagram, website? How do they catch up with you?
Everything Juju Mama is easy to find by Googling Juju Mama. JUJUMAMA. We have 50 videos about this on YouTube. We have our Facebook, Twitter. Everything is Juju Mama. JUJUMAMA.
Well, I'd like to say thank you very much. You've provided a lot of insight. Based experiential insight. This ain't just something she read about. Again. Right. She dropped science, and we appreciate it. Thank you so much for joining the show. We've got other guests, other callers. We will have you back soon. Thanks again, Kenya. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we have a phone call all the way from England. A professor. Professor Eric Anderson.
Hello.
Who shall speak on this subject.
Speak, sir.
Anyway, we're talking about open marriages and if this is a viable solution to infidelity, cheating in relationship. What are the pros and cons of this, Professor Eric Anderson? Speak to me.
Mr. Anderson.
Well, clearly there's a lot of pros to open sexual relationships because one can have the sex outside of the primary relationship that they want without having to go behind someone's back for it.
So let me say.
It's an open agreement between two individuals. There's always rules about it, who they can have sex, when they can have sex. Are they having sex in the forms of threesomes only, or can it be purely one-on-one outside the relationship? So there's still rules to it, but the general structure of it is one that's designed to remove jealousy from the relationship and allow people to have sexual relationships with someone else of sex only, not for emotional attachment, just for sex.
Doc, let me ask you this, and everybody on the panel, let me ask, do you think jealousy is a sign of immaturity?
No.
No.
Look, can we delve into that? Can we go into that?
It depends on who's jealous and why.
Right? Because if God is jealous, well, I don't want to go there.
Yeah, don't go
That's
there.
an emotion, though.
Don't go there.
You can't be jealous.
Even. Would you say that jealousy is a manifestation of a lower level of consciousness?
Yes.
Yes?
Absolutely.
Doc?
There's a difference between envy and jealousy.
Go deeper. That's where we're at.
When you envy someone, you would like to have what they have. When you're jealous, you resent them for having what they have. And so I think, and some people say, well, that's correct, but I have the words reversed. So it's maybe just semantics. But the point is, you can be envious of what someone has. You can be envious of your children's youth because you'd like to live your life again. Jealousy, I think, gets to be a little bit more destructive because then there's a destructive wish. You're angry at them for having it.
But for the panel, this is why I come back to the question of, does it take a greater or lesser level of maturity to be in a monogamous relationship? If we're talking about the concept of openness, doesn't openness require a higher level of maturity to be truthful, to be honest? If you tie in all of our shows, there are women in relationships that haven't had an orgasm and probably aren't talking about it. There are people who are living a lie. There are people who are living in relationships for the resources, for what they can get out of it. They're not being open. They're not being honest. Does it take a higher level of maturity to be in an open relationship?
First of all,
Mr. Bobby said it's what you tolerate. I agree with what he said.
That's what Mr. Bobby said.
Yeah, people tolerate different things. Bobby. So
I want to do
if you can tolerate the open relationship, I say tolerate the open relationship. I mean, it's levels to it. That's why when he said that, I kind of,
Jeff?
I'm going to be way open here right now.
Open up.
Okay? I love my wife. I love her dearly.
Is she watching?
I have made... no, you know me. I say that anyway.
Okay, go ahead. All right.
I love my wife dearly. I have made the conscious choice after having more cooter than Nickelback's drummer to go, look, this is who I want to be with because of all the other shallow shit that goes with having sex with a bunch of other women. I personally, at my age, I can look at Brandy and go, God damn, I'm going to tell you what. But I don't think...
What are you going to tell me?
Dude, I can't say I would tear Brandy's ass up, but I'd certainly do my version of it. Between me, I kind of try to do what Mr. Marcus do. That's kind of my template. Yes.
No, Jeff brings up a big point about maturity, because what he's saying is maturity is learning from experience. Immaturity is never learning from anything. And so
Brandy,
from experience.
Damn.
Well, I think you ask it, does it take a higher or level of maturity to be in an open relationship? And I say that it takes a higher level of maturity to be in any relationship, period. Because I think every relationship, whether you agree to be in a monogamous relationship or whether you agree to be in a fully open, I don't have to tell you anything. I think the beginning of both of those things is knowing that I have decided to make this sort of commitment, agreement, arrangement, whatever you want to call it, with you. And in order for me to honor that, I do think you have to be mature, whether it's monogamy or full on, let's get our freak on.
Right.
You have to honor the agreement that you made with your partner. And I think when you stop doing that, then it becomes cheating.
Bobby?
What you want, Brandon?
Bobby?
I'll tell you later.
Look at God.
Bobby?
A good friend of mine who's featured in my book by the name of Harry Pickens told me many years ago something that I govern myself by now. He said, that which you seek purely in your heart is also seeking you. And the significance of that in the construct of this conversation is, do you really know what you want? Because if that's what you want, that's what you're going to get. Now, if you need a lot of people to feel satisfied and fulfilled, then you need to be about that. But is that really what you want? Wow. Or do you want somebody that's truly compatible with you and down with you? You got to ask yourself.
Listen, Professor from England, Professor Eric, did you lose the professor? Lord have mercy.
You know the British.
No, you
arrogant
heard it.
ass.
You heard it. He did it. Yeah. I'm blaming the engineer. Lord have mercy, Jesus. Wow. listen.
Don't blame Maroon 5 for that. That ain't his fault.
That's Baby Teen Wolf.
I like Maroon 5.
I'm sorry. Anyway, he hung him up, and we're sorry we lost our doctor, but we got other guests on the line right now. But I really want to drill down on this maturity thing, because I was on Facebook and the sister was saying that men are not mature when they're promiscuous. They're only mature when they enter into a monogamous relationship with one person.
No.
And I think that's women's, that's a branch of women who don't understand male sexuality. And I think we need to drill down into that when we come back. Zo What Mornings, the show is crazy. We'll be back at 2.2. Holla!
You can't be married and date at the same time, okay? That's not going to work. I don't know where someone has gotten the idea. Maybe there's some self-help book that you need to flush down the toilet. I mean, really, either you build a family or you don't build a family. If you agree to have a relationship outside of the marriage, why are you married? We're human beings. Okay, let me talk about this feeling for other people, because I hear about this all the time. We're human beings, so once in a while we have some attraction to someone else. You know, that's what movie stars are for. That's what famous people are for. That's why People magazine has decided or Time magazine, whatever magazine it is, has decided who the sexiest guy is or who the sexiest lady is. We make those decisions too. And it's a human trait to be attracted to someone else. So what? You can be married and have these flirting or fleeting attractions, but if you act on them, that's the end of the relationship. If you have feelings and you think they're serious, you need to explore those and think about why they would be serious if everything at home is going well. Maybe there's an issue that you haven't spoken with your husband or your wife about, that you've been really repressing. And if there is an issue like that, then have some courage and address that issue with your spouse and see if that doesn't diminish your feelings that you're serious about someone else. Either you have an intimacy that you build on with another person or move on to someone else. If you feel the urge to have an affair, I think the appropriate thing is to end the relationship that you're in and start up a relationship with someone else instead of having an affair. Affairs are destructive. Affairs do not help marital relationships. That's all I have to say.
Oh, geez. I don't agree with her at all. She said some pretty practical stuff. But this is what I just got a sneaking feeling that
she's frigid.
No. Western society is a trip because it's about a template that they want you to fit in, and everything is locked into commerce and economy. Mm-hmm. Right? So family building, all of that is locked into education, it's locked into employment, it's locked into a construct that they want you to live through. This is how they want you to interface. So I don't think, you say, well, you know, if you feel somebody else, she kind of like tried to pass it off. Like that's not a spiritual human interaction that happens, right? Mm-hmm. So it's a concept and a construct that they want you to interface through. That's my opinion. And I don't believe, no disrespect, Doc, I don't believe in a lot of the psychiatry and all of that kind of stuff. I might be a little Scientologist in that way, right? I don't believe in all of that stuff because it is they that create the template for what is normal in society. Can we all agree on that?
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely.
You had Benjamin Bush, who is the father of psychiatry, who created all types of ailments and maladies and terminologies for being black and slaves.
Yeah.
Like niggerosity. That's one of his terms, right? Niggerosity.
I know some niggas that suffer from that.
Benjamin Rush, right?
I know some niggas that suffer from niggerosity.
But no, it was an actual like ailment.
Yeah.
He's suffering from being black.
Oh.
And the only way you can heal his ass from suffering from being black is to whoop the black off his ass.
Wow. No, that's not what I use niggerosity.
But this is a real
niggerosity is when you borrow my car and bring it back empty and don't say shit. That is some
experienced
horrible
niggerosity
niggerosity right there.
Here we go. So with that said, we have somebody on the or in studio with us right now.
Wait, before you introduce her, because I want her to speak to this. Something we haven't.
How can she speak to it before I introduce her, Doc?
Well, that hasn't stopped you in the past, but
the white man takes over yet again.
Something we something we haven't spoken about is, and I don't know if you might want to address this. What is the responsibility of parents to their children as role models for relationships? We haven't mentioned that about children, but children do kind of what they see, and
if they see a pimp, they're gonna be a pimp.
Yeah. So maybe our next guest, who's a family attorney, can address that, because we haven't talked about that, but I think most of us are parents here.
Atusa Sai, she is Persian. Even. She was sent here by the Lord Xerxes himself. Now, so speak to us, because I know you see broken family situations all the time. You guys got to come in and do kind of a crude form of surgery. Talk to us about how relationship issues manifest themselves in the courtroom. Divorce, how that affects. Let's go.
I think what was your name?
Dr. G. Whitey
The doctor said is...
You can call him Whitey Locks.
I think what the doctor said is key. The truth is, what we do for our children and in front of our children, they do copy. And the importance of having monogamous relationships filled with respect and loyalty and integrity is that will eventually be our future as society and the human race as a whole. So if you don't respect your baby's mom, and you don't treat her with respect and love, and you don't show your son or daughter that she should be spoken to well, taken care of, flowers once in a while.
Wait, what?
I'm serious. Then that child is going to grow up, if it's a girl, thinking that that's okay to be treated that way. And...
Sorry, go ahead. Yes, finish your thought.
And if the child does, and if it's a male, he'll think that he doesn't need to treat a woman with that respect.
I was going to say you have to balance that thought, because it's not just the man showing appreciation to the mother; it's also the mother showing appreciation to the men. Because we did cover this, and you being a divorce attorney, you understand about this rising tide of parental alienation syndrome, and it happens more so from the custodial parent to the non-custodial parent, and most custodial parents are mothers.
Right.
Correct? So it's both ways, yeah?
It goes both ways.
All right, now let's balance it now.
The key is you want to have... the children are our future.
Teach them well.
And you have to teach them well. Right. And in this new day and age, I feel like everybody's main prerogative is me, me, me. We live in a very self-centered, self-satisfied society. Traditionally, perhaps people were more miserable and in marriages they didn't want to be in. There was more sacrifice. And that sacrifice helped us keep society a bit more intact. You've got children, you've got parents.
You're saying there's less sacrifice today?
There's so much less sacrifice now. Everybody just wants to be happy at the moment. I'm sorry to say it, but their kids don't always come first. And
the kids never come first, in my opinion.
They used to.
Rarely do the kids come first.
They used
Jeff,
to.
We're not speaking in absolutes.
I don't think that's true. I think
rarely do they come first. Rarely. I've seen kids get used like fucking...
You can't see your kids.
I've
but
seen
that's the whole point. We need to move away from that, and it needs to stop being about you.
Brandy, Jeff?
No, I mean, I was going to ask then, based on what you're saying then, and going back to our topic, so do you feel like that the open marriage, open relationships are helping the situation? Or do you think they're a hindrance? Do you think we need to move back to, because it sounds like you're a more traditionalist.
I am. It's true. I'm more of a traditionalist. Perhaps it's because of my background. Like, so sad I am Persian, so we do come from a very traditional background. But I think, to be frank with you guys, the more of this open relationship, self-satisfaction, it's all about me attitude, the more we're gonna destroy society. We need to start realizing it's not all about you. It's about us as a society. It's about your kids. It's about your community. And it's not all about you getting what you want when you want it. You need to work hard. And
Great point. Great point.
What what I hear her saying is, let me check, is that
what you hear her saying? I think we all heard it, Doc. But go ahead, finish.
Let me try to translate this into wider life. We were talking about maturity before, and I think maturity is when you're able to pause to play instead of play then pause.
Yes,
And I think what she's saying is we don't pause enough. That doesn't mean you have to get repressed or suppressed, but we don't even take a moment to pause before we act. And then when we act, when we act, it builds up momentum, and then there's the embarrassment of what we did. And I think she's right. I think we see pausing, when we're in the midst of a high impulse, as being repressive. We're not free. We're not true to ourselves. And I think if you think that of the entire society as never pausing before they do, we're going to be in a shitstorm.
That's a good point, Jeff.
Okay, a few things.
You're cursing now. You should not
really
be cursing.
fast. First, Atusa, I need to apologize to you for this this lukewarm spit smell that's on this thing. That's not me. That smell was there before I got here this morning.
Wow.
Y'all need to fix that. This smells like spit on a grill. It's really hard.
It smells like tongue kiss.
Yeah, it smells like tongue kiss. But somebody that bad hunter. Anyway, prime example. Okay, Atusa got big naturals. Those are natural. I can tell. Them ain't worked on.
Don't cover your face now.
Don't cover them now.
Yeah,
You was right at the house right before this going,
You should ask me.
Give her one of those T-shirts.
Ain't nothing wrong with them. Ain't nothing wrong with Atusa's big naturals. Now,
Ramomart.com.
if I have made to a conscious choice, a conscious monogamous choice, that my particular life is about my wife's naturals, okay? That don't mean I can't see those. What it means is that I've made a conscious choice not to react on that and go, girl, you know what, I like that law get down. Let's go have some lunch. I can't do that, okay? That doesn't make me any more or less mature unless you look at my commitment to my commitment. And that's purely what it's about. If you're going to get out with a bunch of people, if you and your significant other are going to get out with a bunch of people, be honest. But that's like you said, that's some shit from 600 years ago. Okay? Right now, in order to keep this republic working, that's why monogamy is so damn important. If we went back to hunting our food, you could fuck who you like, but we're not there.
Well, that's the way to. Well, I'll cover that later. I'll do that later. We have about 2 minutes left, but I want to come back to the central theme here. And for me, Doc touched on the maturity level. We have to stop, in my opinion, judging those who don't live the way we live.
Thank
you. So and I was going to save this for my final thought, but I'll just say it right now. The problem is every one of our ideas becomes our religion, and then we crusade for it mercilessly. And we have testimony, and we testify how this works for me. Well, it worked for you. That doesn't mean it's a blanket license for everyone to be happy. Monogamy, in terms of, society, is relatively new. Can we not all agree on that?
Yeah.
And if it's new, and it's an ideological social construct, why do we kill ourselves every day trying to fit into a system that is static when human beings are in flux?
Dynamic.
Our whole life, we're dynamic, we're moving, we're changing, we're evolving. So what happens is our ideas become our wardens. They police us. We're not really living free or authentic. So what we do is, and tell me this isn't the truth, Doc, how many people you deal with that have so much suppressed, unresolved, unrequited desires and thoughts and concepts because they had to fit the mold?
Oh, that's a lot of them. But what we talked about earlier is that what frees people is to know and experience what you feel at the deepest level. Almost everything we do is to stay away from feelings we don't want to feel, and yet feeling them. So underneath most anger is fear. Underneath most resentment is hurt. But a lot of times we don't want to feel what we feel underneath it all, and yet that sets you free. Is feeling what you feel at the deepest level sets you free, and then you can engage with other people without having a head of steam or needing to act out.
And now we're coming close to the reason why there's a high divorce rate. Most people are diet people. They're not real. They're not authentic. We just got to be, they're cut. They got aspartame in them. I'm just saying. We're about to take a quick break. When we come back, final thoughts. We're going to wrap it up. It's been crazy, but there's still more. I'll be back at 2.2 So What Mornings. Holla. Woo. Ladies and gentlemen, So What final thoughts. These are my final thoughts. Great book you should get. Robert Anton Wilson is the author. It's called Prometheus Rising. And in this book, he breaks down how society is programmed in a lockstep kind of, ideological system that keeps people where they are for maximum benefit for the ruling class. Here's the term that he uses to describe those people. Domesticated primates.
Damn.
Right? And what happens is we have this aspiration to be domestic in some way. Even the worst of us. When you look at the thug or the hood dude on the street, he wants the life that the executive guy lives. He wants the penthouse suite. He wants to have his kids in private school. He just didn't go the route to get there. So everybody is in pursuit of the same thing. That white picket fence, that beautiful wife, the 2.5 kids. We want to live that life, right? It's the pursuit of this domestic kind of life. And that's not necessarily a perfect life because it has nothing to do with happiness. It has nothing to do with authenticity. We've been sold a dream and everybody is in pursuit of a dream. Now, how does one dream fit every human? It doesn't. Because once you get the dream, you realize this dream doesn't fit me. It's like buying a jacket from a store off the rack. It's not tailor-made. We have to tailor-make our concepts for our happiness. Most people don't tailor-make their own happiness. They're in pursuit of a happiness that was put together and presented to them as normal. Monogamy isn't normal for everybody, right? It's just not, right? This is why I argue with the homosexuals. I say, listen, Christianity is not tailor-made for you. It hates you. But God loves you because God created you. So why don't you create your own religion and stop trying to fight your way into Christianity?
Woo. Let them use you.
Right? So that's my point. We're not creators. We're assimilators. We want to be normal.
I'm stealing that.
Monogamy is not, it's the normal thing. This is, most people aren't happy unless you're in a, and I'll tell you, she won't be happy if she's not. At the end of the day, there are a lot of women out there who are repressed, who are suppressed, who are accepting and tolerant of things that they never really wanted, but it's normal to have it. Most people will fight and die for normalcy, but yet sacrifice happiness to be there. Again, monogamy isn't for everyone. You saw the videos, you've seen the videos. All of the videos will tell you, all of the science tells you, humans are not biologically monogamous. But like Jeff said, in order to fit into this society, you got to play those rules in order to live a normal life. I'll end on this note from Krishnamurti. It is no measure of health to be fully integrated into a profoundly sick society. We spend most of our time trying to integrate into a society that is sick itself. There's no benefit to that. I'm Zoe Williams from the Zoe What Morning Show, and that is my final thought. What I like to do now, around the table, everybody tell us where you are, where they can find you, starting with our girl. You're going to be on our show from now on.
Sure.
Latusa, tell us
you guys
where they
can
can find
me at familylawanddivorces.com or call me at the office, 310-855-3386.
855-3386, Family Law. Atusa Sae, you got to get at her. She's natural and beautiful. Jeff, where can we find you? Stop it, Jeff. Where can we find you?
Oh, I'm sorry. You can't sue me for looking shit. Yeah, put them away then.
She wore lace on purpose.
Yeah.
But go deeper, Jeff.
Put lace on your big naturals and then I ain't shit. At GB Funny Style, go to Jeff Brown's Fan Squad and demand your free ringtone.
Free ringtones from Jeff. Go ahead, Doc.
Go to heartfeltleadership.com and check the announcement about the free webinar this Friday on how to follow through and get people around you to follow through.
Sleazy.
Derek Sleazy Evans on that's Instagram, and that's about it. I'm anonymous, by the way.
Okay, thank you, Doc. My brother, my uncle, Bobby Glanton.
Here's a remedy for you. Real Men Don't Play. www.realmendon'tplay.com and tune in Thursday to the Real Men Don't Play show. That's 6:30 p.m. PST on rmconlive.com.
Got you. Brandy McGee.
It's Brandy McGee. You can find me on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter at Brandy McGee, BrandyImagee, or Instagram at Princess Wildflower. And tomorrow, 11 o'clock Pacific time, you can find me on The Voice of Reason at rmconlive.com. Again, with Zoe and Margot and Whitney.
And all the beautifuls, yes.
Yeah.
Great stuff. Listen, follow Zoe at Instagram, at Mr. Zoe What. We appreciate everybody. We got another hot topic for next week. It's going to be crazy. Don't miss it. Zoe What Mornings, TRadioV.com. Holla.